17 different accounts at 17 different banks. That's 16 way too many. That's how many bank accounts my clients discovered their father had after he passed away. See, their dad was a rate chaser. He was always constantly chasing the highest rate. It didn't matter where the bank was, he was willing to open up a brand new account just so that he could make a little bit more interest. Well, the good news for you is that there is a better way. You don't have to open up 17 different accounts. Actually, you can open up just one account and get the highest yield possible. We're gonna find out what that option is right now. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel Wealth Hacker Labs. I'm your grateful host, Jeff Rose, and this is the channel dedicated to teaching new ways to build wealth that is not taught to you in schools or by your parents. And today we're trying to figure out, how do we make more than 0.00000
not even a
1% that these big box banks are still paying? Even though, according to the FDIC, the national savings account rates have increased. Now, right now we're seeing an average at 0.39%, and we keep seeing interest rates increase, which is not so good for inflation. But when it comes to our bank and our savings account, that should mean that we're seeing rates increase, but yet we're still seeing banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo still paying that 0.01%. So that begs the question, how do we make more on our money? Now, one option is you can go out and open 17 different accounts at 17 different financial institutions, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But let me just tell you, that is a logistical nightmare. Having to keep track of all the paperwork, trying to keep track of how much money you have at each bank. Not the only, if you have a spouse, if you have beneficiaries, trying to keep track of all that is a nightmare. Trust me when I say this. So if you don't want to go that route, another route that you can do is called SaveBetter. Now, SaveBetter is a fintech platform, and this is what I love about this strategy here, is that you have Robinhood, you have M1 Finance, you have a lot of these investment apps that, this is fintech in action. And what we're seeing is SaveBetter is that we're showing how we can have an online platform that connects all these different banks, puts it into one place, one easy platform.
That idea may just be crazy enough
that you can take advantage of the highest CD rates, the highest money market rates, the highest high yield savings account rates across the country, and do so in the convenience of one account. Now, obviously, we want to be careful because, you always hear that saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It's too good to be true.
So today I want to break down, who is SaveBetter? Who are they good for? How does the process work if you want to open an account and start taking advantage of all these bank partnerships that they have? And also we'll address some of the cons, because it isn't a good fit for everybody. So let's find out if it's a good fit for you. Let's go ahead over to the SaveBetter website so we can learn more about them. The first thing that you'll notice here is that they are SaveBetter by Raisin. We'll have more on that in one sec, but just want to read this because I think this really summarizes who they are and what they offer to their clients. 25 plus federally insured banks and credit unions, one account. To me, that is really what encapsulates who they are and what benefits they provide for anybody that's trying to take advantage of higher interest rates, higher yields that exist out there. Before we get into the ins and outs of how they work, let's talk a little bit how they were founded. So here's an article on Reuters talking about the Thiel-backed fintech deposit solution launches in the United States. So for those that don't know, Peter Thiel, famous venture capitalist, I would argue world famous. The guy's invested into everything. He's made a lot of money, and he invested in this company, this German fintech called Deposit Solutions, which then, I guess, rebranded and launched in the United States as SaveBetter. But you can look at some of the financials here. So Deposit Solutions, a tech unicorn based in Hamburg, has mediated $30 billion in deposits so far in Europe, with more than 150 banks from 20 countries operate on its platform. So, they were already a large operation doing very well in Europe. And then they said, hey, we're doing so good in Europe, let's come over to the United States. Raisin was another competitor. And when they realized it made more sense to merge together, that's how they became SaveBetter with Raisin. Now, the one thing that I love about this, and we'll talk about more of this in a sec, but if you read this one sentence here, I think this is very key. Multiple FDIC member banks partner with Raisin to be included in SaveBetter. And the reason I want to bring attention to this now is because when you look at some of the offerings that are currently exist within Save Better, these are offerings that you cannot get anywhere else. They are actually created specifically for the Save Better platform. And you might be wondering, like, why would a bank do this? Like, why would they just have the normal rates, normal offerings that they have? Like, why would they make a special offer for Save Better? And if you think about these big box banks, right? I mean, to me, I'm thinking about if I'm trying to open an account somewhere at a bank, I'm going to go somewhere close, like close geographically. Like, I don't want to get in the car and drive 3 hours. So when you have a fintech like Save Better that has the ability to reach a larger client base, so now banks can actually get more deposits because they're taking advantage of the technology that Save Better by Raisin offers that they don't have internally. So I have to imagine when banks are seeing that the Save Better platform has proof of concept that they've generated over 30 billion of deposits overseas, then I'm thinking, yeah, I want to partner with you. If you're going to replicate that type of success here in the United States, I would most definitely create just a bit of a bonus rate, some sort of teaser rate to get more client deposits and get more exposure to a much larger demographic than they're currently getting. I should also add, if you want to read more about a Save Better review, I have one on the blog that goes to the ins and outs of how Save Better works and whether it's a good fit. I'll have the link in the description so you can check this out at your leisure. All right, let's talk about the process of how it works to open an account with Save Better and start investing. Taking a look at this graphic taken directly from their website. So you are the customer. You open an account with Save Better so that you have access to their account dashboard. You have access to their online access. Save Better is not a custody of your money. So they are actually not holding the money. Depending on which bank or which offering you choose, whether you're looking at a high yield CD, a savings account, or a money market, they have different custody banks that will hold that money for you. All these banks are FDIC insured, so you have that protection. You then send that money over here. Money transitions to custodial account at the selected institution. And then from there, that money is sent to whatever product or offering that you choose, whether it be a bank, a credit union, or another bank. So typically how this works is these are called pooled accounts. Pooled account basically means you almost think it kind of like crowdfunding. It's probably a bad example, but basically the gist is that you are putting your money, you are pooling your money with other investors that are also interested in whatever product that you're looking at. Could be a no penalty CD, could be a money market account, high yield savings, so on and so forth. But the point I want to drive home is that you just have one account with Save Better. You are connecting one external checking account to your Save Better account that allows you to transfer money in and out. You are not opening up all these different accounts at all these different financial institutions. You have one account. And in case you didn't hear me, I'm gonna say it one more time. You have one account as Save Better, just one. All right, let's head back over to the Save Better website just to see the different product offerings that they have. So you can see here at the top, navigation menu here, savings accounts, money market accounts, CD accounts, no penalty CDs, and all their products. If we scroll down here, you'll start just seeing some of their top offers. And this is something that gets updated. I don't know if it's daily, but it gets updated frequently. So we have a Ponzi Bank, I think that's Ponzi Bank, paying APY of 5.05% for their money market account. We have a high yield savings account with Western Alliance, Medallion Bank. There's some of the offers there, Patriot Bank. Just keep through all the different, here's some credit unions, Mission Valley Bank, the Atlantic Federal Credit Union. So there's quite a few different offerings that they have. And these are for the high yield savings and money market accounts. We have fixed term CDs. We also have no penalty CDs, which I think is probably one of the most attractive offers that they have. And for those that aren't familiar, essentially typically with a no penalty CD, if you have a regular term CD, so let's say you do like a 12-month or a 15-month, and if you were to need the money anytime before that, you would lose all your interest from that term. So, I mean, that's where, like, if you're going to do like a 12-month CD or a 15-month CD, like you pretty much need to know that the money needs to be locked away for that certain period. With a no penalty CD, you're not having to pay a penalty on that. So basically you get an accrued interest, for the however long that you had that CD. So at least you're making some interest as opposed to using the traditional term. But typically the no penalty CDs are the more popular option, especially when you think about, well, we'll address that here in 1 second when we get to the cons, but you can see the different offerings that they have: high yield savings, fixed term CDs, and then no penalty CDs. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, or at some point in this video, where a lot of these banks that have partnered with Save Better, they have certain offerings that are exclusive to the Save Better platform. And just to give you an example, we're going to look at this one in particular. This is a Ponzi Bank. This is a no penalty CD. It's for 4 months with an APY of 5.06%. Shows you the annualized earnings based on a $50,000 deposit. But just once again, no penalty CD, 4 months, 5.06%. Now, if we actually go directly, so this is something you could go to Save Better, or you could go directly to Ponzi Bank, and you could open an account with them and purchase one of their CDs or any of their other banking products. But if we go to their CD page, and this is effective as of May the 4th, we have 1 and 2 month CDs paying you 2.96% or API of 3. We have 3 months of 3.44 or 3.5%. And then we have a 6 months at 3.73 with a 3.8. So as you can see, like, there is no 4 month no penalty CD offering the same rate that you would get here directly with Save Better. And this is just one example. These change out all the time depending on what promotion these banks are having, whatever, they are needing more deposits, or just whatever that may be. But once again, there are certain offerings that you can only get with Save Better that you can't get anywhere else. And to me, that's what represents one of the pros of why I would choose Save Better. Now, the whole idea of opening accounts, like the savings accounts and money market accounts, like for me, like that's not nearly as attractive, just because there are some limitations on how you can get the money out. Because, for example, if you're trying to do online bill pay, this is not so much a con because I don't do a lot of online bill pay, at least with our checking account. But if that is something that you want, that is something that you really can't do through the Save Better platform. But if you're trying to maximize different no penalty or high yield CDs, to me, like that's where a Save Better could be a really good fit for you. All right, we already talked about a lot of the pros of using Save Better. Let's address some of the cons. The first con that I can see, it has a bit of a clunky beneficiary process. So whenever I used to open accounts for my clients, whether like a single account or a joint account, we would open what was called a payable on death or a transfer on death, POD or TOD. And with that, it was one simple form. And that was the beginning of the conversation. So make sure, like, I'd ask the client, hey, is this something that you're interested in? If they said yes, great. Print off the form, have them complete it. It's done. With the Save Better platform, it's not done up front. So you basically have to contact them, and then they will send you the information to complete that. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's just one of those things to be aware of, especially if having a beneficiary is something that is very important to you. The second biggest con that I could see with Save Better platform is if you do want to withdraw funds, this is not you logging online, submitting a request, like submitting a trade, and then those funds then are released to you. It does require you to make a call. So you actually have to old school, get on the phone, actually call somebody, and then they will then release the funds. Now, I just want to give credit to Rob Berger, who also has an amazing YouTube channel. So he actually contacted them because he had his Save Better account, contacted them, and he said that he was able to initiate a funds withdrawal in like less than 30 seconds. So it's not a 1 pound, 2 pound, 7 pound wait, hold music for 30 seconds before you talk to them, and then you get transferred to another operator, then you can start the story all over again. It is a simple process, but just be aware it's not as simple as sending an email or submitting or an online ticket. You actually have to call them to get your funds released. And the third con, and this is one that I want to assume that as their technology develops and maybe just they have maybe a better system with all their partnering banks, is that they can increase the timeliness of this. But basically is for you, if you have money, say with one bank and a no penalty CD, and that money comes due and that gets deposited back into your Save Better account, if you want to move money from one no penalty CD to another bank, whether, and it doesn't matter what product, maybe it's another no penalty CD, maybe it's a high yield account, whatever that is, if you are essentially changing accounts, it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 business days for that money to settle. And this is about the same thing if you had an online brokerage account or just a normal brokerage account and you initiate a trade. Typically there was a 3 business day hold on any trades. If you had a good standing reputation with a broker, they may be able to front you some of that money, but essentially you have to wait 2 to 3 business days. Wait. So just be aware of that. That might be a big inconvenience for a lot of people. Maybe it isn't. For those that are typically buying CDs, that's not as a big deal. They do rotate out frequently, but I don't think you're going to miss out anything if you got to wait this 2 to 3 business days. But it's just something to be aware of. So there is a 2 to 3 business day hold if you're looking to change accounts within your Save Better platform. Overall, I really like the platform. I like the ability to have all these different no penalty high yield CDs in one account instead of having to open up, once again, 17 different accounts with 17 different institutions. Especially nowadays, I think with the market, interest rates on the rise, I think people are getting a little bit skittish. We've seen the market go up and down, and now I think a lot of people are looking for a safer option. And since interest rates have been low for so long, it really wasn't that of an attractive thing to do. But when you have banks now that are paying you 5% or more on some of these high yield offerings, now it makes more sense to use a platform like Save Better to make sure that you're getting the highest yield possible. So if you are a rate chaser and you want to diversify your portfolio, and whether you want to do CD ladders or take advantage of whatever new rates, higher rates are out there, that's where a Save Better can be a good fit for you. As always, do your own homework. If you want to call Save Better and have a conversation with them because you're considering it, you're just not 100% sure, then do it. Call them. Ask them all the hard questions that you need to do before you feel comfortable. Read all the fine print. This is just one offer that's out there compared to all the different choices that you have with your money. So you just want to be smart, do your research. As always, if you found any benefit from this video, I would appreciate a like, a subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you could make it awesome. Until next time, peace.